Hi, I'm Brooke Chummel, the Director of Product Marketing for FortiEDR, MDR, and XDR, and welcome to Casa de Cholmo. And I'm going to walk you through the deck here on how to present EDR, MDR, and XDR to your customers. Okay, the deck that we have here on HighSpot, and again, we're talking about the recording as of the 26th of April, is designed to give you about 30 minutes of material, but can be expanded to give you an hour of material if you want to go through a lot of the finer details. So with that said here, when presenting this deck, you want to delete slide number 1, all right? It's still hidden, or you can delete it, whatever, but this really gives you an understanding of what's going on here and why some things are hidden and why some things may not want to be hidden. So with that said, we are positioning as XDR first, okay? XDR first as in, FortiEDR is going to be the what we'd sell if they don't want to go with the XDR route, right? So we're going to start with XDR and manage XDR first, then walk backwards from there. The old, limerick or the old rhyme around here is put MDR on the quote and make them fight you to get it off, okay? So start there and work backwards. So overall, we have a new agenda slide. This is based off of kind of the fabric slide that we've replaced things with. So this overall explains, what we're doing here as a whole. This shows kind of the plethora of what we're doing at Fortinet. But the main thing here is showing overall the high-level things, and that is common business problems, being proactive with XDR, and then what it looks like putting it all together. All right. And again, in that third part there, putting it all together tends to be more on the hidden side. So you may want to adjust this agenda if you're not going to walk through those portions of the deck. So one of those, again, burden of protection, typical thing, the pain slide, the things that we face when dealing with working in security, right? This one here is a little bit more on the issues the actual organizations face with when it comes to things like the burnout of employees, that the mean time to detect and repair, etc., etc. So high-level pain slides, you've seen those before. FortiEDR, XDR, again, getting into it. You're welcome to delete the Google Cloud portion over there on the right, the Partner of the Year that came from last year, still relevant since they haven't had a new release of that. So you're welcome to keep that in there. I like to keep this one in here to show how FortiEDR, which is down here, in all the different aspects of here from the whole attack sequence, from going from delivery to exploit, installation, etc. I'd like to speak on how FortiEDR is designed to be like a finger, but a finger on the hand together, it makes a fist, and it does a lot more together, right? So it's designed to work by itself, but when put into Congress with everything else with the Fortinet security fabric, we have a much better and stronger solution. This is overall high level on third parties. This is up to date as of the 26th of April. SE Labs just came out. Their results are the same. Gartner, of course, if you get some brush back on Gartner being in the niche quadrant, that will change. We are right in the middle of the Gartner Magic Quadrant. And so we're a year away from Challenger, or, back to Visionary, or even over to Leader. So we're trying to do a lot to get there. If you get any brush back on MITRE, come talk to us. We have a whole deck. We have a lot of things here on HighSpot to defend our MITRE results. We believe our 98% is the true 100% because we didn't cheat at MITRE, and there were some things that should have been false positives. So if you show 100% sub-detection detection and a 95% and a 100% analytic detection rate, that's because you baked in signatures in your MITRE mode version of the client. So we are standing strong on our stance on MITRE. Public case references, you're welcome to pick from here. There's a bunch on the website. There's a lot more. This one here is a large European auto manufacturer. So you're going to see two different kind of looks and feels here on these decks. This is the new use case slide. Here's another one. Again, by the time you get this will be improved. It's missing the image right now. But here's the older version. You're welcome to use that. This is a credit union. This is education. So we'll be building these in more and more. As you look back on this deck is a living and breathing thing. It'll change all the time. Now, let's get down. So after basically going through validation from third parties, validation from customers, now we get into the main deck. Slide 14 is hidden here. Slide 14 is designed, let me make this a little bit smaller, is designed to overall show you why people would use EDR, right? This allows for us to kind of talk about our differentiators at a high level, but I found that when I had this in the main deck, that I end up repeating myself a lot when I get down into other slides going through the deck. Okay, so you're welcome to get into the core reasons why people would choose it to highlight overall differentiators and then reaffirm those later on in the deck, right? That being said, this is the high-level slide here. This is updated as of the, again, April, for the April 29th launch. And this explains how now shows that we are doing mobile devices, threat hunting for containers. Again, the main thing here is to show how we are designed differently. That our kernel-based ability on Windows and Linux, we are not kernel-based on Mac because they don't have kernels. Is that it makes us lightweight. It gives us superior visibility. We interoperate well with third-party solutions like Defender, Bitdefender, CrowdStrike, SentinelOne, name it. The big thing to talk about here, the differentiators here, is legacy operating systems. Get into our multi-data lake approach on XDR so you don't have to replicate data lakes. This wide explosion of XDR response options. Which is why 16 is hidden. If you want to go into more depth, you can add this in here, explaining why we do what we do and how XDR can integrate all of this material, do correlation detections, investigations, remediations, and then respond with a whole wide variety of things, which also take advantage of more integrations. So with that said, this is part of the portion of this deck is hidden, but this is how we're going to get started. We're going to set up an account. I designed the deck this way because I've watched many, many demos from all of our competitors, and they go right into threat hunting. They go right into handling events. It's the same demonstration, but with a different UI. We're going to go different here. So we're going to talk about our overall high-level approach here. This one's hidden on how we want to train our employees on how to do things, establish policies, test our configuration, and then communicate with our MDR team. So we'll just read the slide. And again, we do have talking notes here. And by the way, this is a rotating GIF if you ever want to use it in other places. So then this is where we get into the first wedge of the pie here, protection, reducing the attack surface. We're kind of go in order of how we would set this up. Reducing the attack surface, device discovery, IoT device discovery, get into virtual patching, application control policies, then into prevention. We're going to get into the 5 different security policies with the 6th extended XDR policy activated there. So we're going to talk about how we set up policies and how you can install this without rebooting the device, right? And how when we cut things over time, everything goes into simulation mode first, and then we cut things over one at a time as we go into full production. And some user and device groups, again, the user device groups is a very important thing to talk about here. You can leave it on simulation mode for those user device groups, or maybe just turn on ransomware, like on a manufacturing device, okay? After this, we're going to get into how we can set granular policies. And again, you can create any type of policy like for any user device group, however you want it. So if you want to, block executed programs that doesn't have an installer, you could do it, you could not, you could log it. So that being said, we get into then after detection and containment. This explains a lot of these things here. Read the slide, the notes on the slide. Getting into a little bit more on the forensics and the threat hunting. So again, this shows the user panel, the events panel. This will change as we change the UI, which is coming up in the next couple quarters as of the recording of this video. And then we will do and if you're watching this after the new UI, ignore my video, just look at the slides that are available on HighSpot. Here's threat hunting, by the way. And again, I'm trying to get this in under 10 minutes, sorry. But here's in developing those connections. And this is where you can then have all those extended response options and do a lot more. Here are some high-level connectors here that you can point to. Again, read the slide notes. And then this is setting up the playbooks when you can go there and configure this to do whatever you want to do. If it's malicious or suspicious, inconclusive, likely safe, you can do a lot of different things. So with that being said, this part of the deck is completely hidden. This would assume that you're going to go through all of this material in about an hour, and then you say, well, now that you've set it up the way that we recommend it, this is what your life is like. Here's the dashboard view. Here's the event viewer. Here's the investigation. Here are the possible actions you could take based on something that you found. Okay? Here is the reactive and proactive way to do threat hunting, including scheduling of queries. So again, we get into our managed options here. Talk about our MDR team. They're located around the world. They are 100% internal. That is a differentiator for us. Share them this slide. We're more than alert only. We'll do all the detection, the threat hunting, the analysis. We will do the containment remediation, the notifications for suspicious and malicious, and do the routine reporting. And it's the same team that does IR services, and they are available for escalations. With that being said, that's the recap, and that's the overall message of the deck. If you have any questions, reach out to me. If you have any room for improvement that you would like to see us make, let us know. But again, this deck is clay in your hands. You're welcome to mold it however you see fit. So again, wish you best of luck. Thank you very much.